You all know it. You make one mistake in a match, then another, you get nervous and worry that the coach will substitute you. And you don't want that. That's why I'm going to give you these 14 practical tips on what mistakes not to make, how to avoid substitutions in a match, and how to improve your overall game. I have made thousands of mistakes in my professional career, been substituted many times, but I have also learned how to look at volleyball as a player through the eyes of a coach, to stay on the court as much as possible and be minimally substituted. On the other hand, I won't talk here about success rate, points and statistics, which in professional volleyball has also a big impact on the substitution of players during a match. If the coach has put you into the match, then he has confidence in you. He wants you to play well for the team. He may forgive you for a technical mistake if he sees you trying. On the other hand, every coach plays for his team to win. He wants his players to do their best on the field. He wants his team to play like a real team. And the role of a coach is to help his team. He shows his players the way, he gives them advice, but he's not on the field during the match. The game is played by his players. But how to avoid the situation when the coach is thinking about your substitution? What mistakes are sure to send you to the bench? And how can you strengthen the coach's confidence in you so that he doesn't substitute you even at a critical moment? The first clear signal for a coach to substitute you are repeated direct errors in a volleyball skill. If you attack out of court 3 times in a row in a short interval, the coach will either take a timeout or put you on the bench. Same goes for setters. If you make a set 3 times in a row that is very inaccurate and your teammates can't attack, you are asking for a substitution. Or if you serve, again, several missed serve in a row during a match will probably send you to the bench. With serve-receive, it's the same. 3 or 4 errors in a row and the coach is looking for a solution to help the team in those situations. And he'll probably substitute you. Simply several errors in a row in one volleyball skill is a signal to the coach that something is not working and he often has to react to it. You need to think similarly if you make several direct mistakes in a row. For example, you go for a serve, you serve into the net. Then the serve is flying at you, you get an ace. Another serve comes in and you fall again with your reception. And then you attack another ball into the net. The vast majority of coaches will react to that and send another player in your place. Coaches have and must have a tolerance for mistakes. After all, we make a lot of mistakes in volleyball. Even professional players make mistakes. But this tolerance has its limits. If you make 1 or 2 mistakes, it's not a signal for the coach to take you off the court. But when the amount of your mistakes in a short period of time starts to increase, I mean 3 or 4 big mistakes that cost your team a point, then you get into a situation where the coach is already evaluating the pros and cons. Will he let you play and give you one last chance because he trusts you? Or he will rather substitute you because he expects it to help the team more? And these are questions that coaches look for answers to in almost every game during the season. The second set of mistakes that a coach will sometimes substitute you for is when you make a bad play on an easy ball. For example, a high flying ball from an opponent, a free ball. You don't play it to the center of the court close to the setter, but instead you play the ball out of court all the way behind the antenna. The coach can also send you to the bench for these mistakes, which usually stem from a lack of concentration. And it doesn't have to be several mistakes in a row. Just one such bad touch can cost you a spot on the field. The second category of mistakes includes inactivity on the court. For example, when the ball flies in front of you and you let it fall to the ground. You can't let that happen. You also risk substitutions in a game by your body language and your facial expression. Coaches usually want to see passion, combativeness, emotions in their players during the game. And if you walk around the court bored that you don't care much about the game, that you don't enjoy the game, that you want the game to be over, you are asking for substitutions again. The coach can also substitute you if you argue with him during the game. You don't calmly communicate your opinions to him. Instead, you yell at him across the court or tell him on the bench that you don't respect his opinions on the game's progress and instructions. And if you do whatever you want in game, if you don't play according to team's tactics and strategy, you can expect to find yourself on the bench soon. A coach cannot allow all players to do whatever they want on the court. Sure, a coach doesn't give his players orders on how to play every ball, he doesn't manage the team point by point. But if you agreed to play with a strategy and you don't respect it, you know what's coming. Then there are tough moments like end of sets and tie breaks. You know it yourself, these situations are often very tense, and it's in these tense situations that a coach cannot accept several mistakes in a row. It's an important part of the set, and any mistake can decide the outcome of a set or a match. Whether it's a bad reception followed by an attack into the net and even more messed up serve, therefore try not to make multiple direct errors in a row when playing end of sets and tense tiebreaks. Also, sometimes you can get into a situation where you haven't done anything and the coach still substitutes you. But the coach doesn't replace you because you are playing poorly, because the team isn't playing well because of you. Rather, he is looking for a way to slow the game down or stop the opponent's pressure. You may encounter this situation as well, but it should not affect you negatively. Sure, it's easy for me to tell you how you should play here. Theory behind the camera is always easier than practice. On the other hand, I want to give you some concrete advice on how you can avoid any substitutions. Like I said, the coach wants to win. He watches his team closely, he knows the strengths and weaknesses of each player. He knows that someone needs a half of set to get into the game. He knows that some attackers get nervous in the end of the set. The coach is also aware that everyone on the team would like to play. We are human, we make and will make mistakes, and if you get on the edge of substitutions, you feel you are already made mistakes that the coach can send you to the bench. Don't surrender to that pressure, because often one touch of the ball, one great defensive play, one smart attack or a difficult pass can change everything. I've experienced it myself many times. I was struggling in a game, I was on the edge of substitutions for a long time. Then I managed to play a difficult ball in the end, and not only the coach started to believe in my performance again. So count on the fact that even if you don't do well, one ball can change everything. It can save you from substitutions and boost your confidence in a given match. Consequently, to avoid possible substitutions, it's also necessary to warm up well before the game. If you do your warm-up pepper in pairs, attacking and serving at 50%, you are already showing the coach that something is wrong. Sure, the coach has decided to put you in the match, but with your warm-up you are giving him a signal to watch out for you. You are alerting him, and he may not give you as many chances as if you were 100% prepared for the game. It's also related to training itself. There aren't just 6 players on the team who played all the games. Most coaches want to get the whole team involved in games, so that if there is a critical situation in a game, they can substitute and the substitute player is ready for that situation. But if you practice without interest, make a lot of mistakes in practice, then you can expect to do a similar performance during the match. And a similar performance will soon send you to the bench, where you don't want to be. Therefore, practice as if you were playing the matches, with focus, without too many direct mistakes in a row. The goal of this video is not to scare you into being afraid to touch the ball and not make a mistake. You should still play confidently, trying to pressure your opponent. Still, it's good to be aware of your game during a match, to know yourself and know what kind of performance you are giving in the match. If you play the game and keep in mind my advice on what mistakes can send you to the bench, you will reduce the possibility of coach benching you. Simply by being aware of yourself during a match can help you, and I firmly believe you become a better player. See you in the next video. Bye.